I got a massive problem with foldable phones right now, and unless Apple pulls off a total miracle this September, the entire category might just hit a massive brick wall. Look, I have the Samsung Z Fold 7 sitting right here on my desk. I've got the Pixel 10 Pro Fold with its ridiculously long name, the Jimmy Choo-inspired Honor Magic V5, and a literal wooden Motorola Razr. They are awesome engineering marvels, but let's be totally honest with each other for a second. They are incredibly difficult to recommend to anyone who isn't a massive tech nerd with $2,000 burning a hole in their pocket. You basically end up using the outside cover screen 90% of the time anyway, right? It almost feels like a gimmick you have to force yourself to use. But the rumors dropping from Cupertino this week are completely shifting my perspective. We are staring down the barrel of the iPhone Ultra, and the supply chain leaks suggest Apple is doing exactly what they always do. Waiting, watching, and then completely flipping the script to redefine the entire product category. Let's talk about the craziest rumor first. According to Mark Gurman and some fresh chatter over on Mac Attackera, Apple is straight up splitting the iPhone launch this year. We are expecting the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max this September, but they are totally pushing the regular base iPhone 18 to spring 2027. Why would they leave that massive holiday sales gap? Because they need the spotlight entirely focused on the iPhone Ultra. They're clearing the runway for their very first foldable, and I honestly think it's a brilliant move. We don't need minor iterative updates every single year, and giving the Ultra room to breathe is the only way to justify what is undoubtedly going to be a massive Apple tax. But what exactly is the iPhone Ultra? If we cross-reference the latest reports from the ELEC and top-tier display analyst Ross Young, we're looking at a foldable that completely breaks away from the tall, narrow TV remote design we used to see on older flip phones. Instead, Apple is targeting the exact dimensions of a literal passport. I grabbed my actual passport the other day just to hold it, pretending it was a phone. And honestly, it feels incredibly familiar, almost like a massive throwback to the classic BlackBerry days. A wider, shorter footprint means the front display is actually a usable, comfortable aspect ratio. And when you open it up, Ross Young is claiming we're getting a 7.7 to 7.8 inch inner display. But here is the kicker. Zero crease. Absolutely flat. I will definitely believe it when I see it. But supposedly Apple has cracked the hinge mechanism that even the best Android competitors haven't quite perfected. Let's get into heavy specs, because this is where DG Times just dropped a total bombshell on the industry. The iPhone Ultra is apparently skipping the standard silicon and going straight for the A20 Pro chip. We know TSMC has been fighting tooth and nail with their cutting-edge 3nm yields, but Apple bought up the entire supply chain capacity. That means thermal throttling shouldn't be an issue even when you're driving essentially an iPad mini-size display right in the palms of your hands. But you know what doesn't make sense to me? Shrimp Apple Pro tweeted that the Ultra is ditching Face ID entirely. Yes, you heard me right. No Face ID. Instead, they are integrating Touch ID directly into the power button. Now, I know some of you are probably screaming at your screens right now, but think about it from a raw engineering standpoint. Getting the true depth camera system thin enough to fit inside a foldable screen without a massive notch or a terrible under-display sensor is practically impossible today. Touch ID on the side is just rock solid and reliable. What do you guys think, though? Drop a comment down below right now. Would you trade Face ID for a completely bezel-less foldable display? I think I definitely would. Now let's talk about the cameras, because Ming-Chi has been highly specific about the optics, and it might frustrate some of the hardcore photography fans. The Ultra is allegedly shipping with a dual camera setup. We are getting a 48-megapixel main sensor and a 48-megapixel ultrawide. No telefoto lens. None. Apple is sacrificing the optical zoom capabilities entirely to keep the titanium chassis as shockingly thin as physically possible. And honestly, titanium is the absolute only material that makes sense here. For structural weight reduction. If this thing was carved out of stainless steel, it would weigh as much as a literal brick in your pocket. But insane specs alone do not sell a $2,000 phone. The real challenge for Apple is the narrative, and they are undisputed masters of the product story. Think about how they position the AirPods, or how seamlessly the Apple ecosystem pulls you in and traps you. They need to give average consumers a rock-solid reason to unfold the device every single day. The passport size means side-by-side multitasking is actually going to be genuinely useful for digging into emails, watching YouTube videos, and getting real work done. But this creates a massive internal conflict for Apple. If I unfold an 8-inch iPhone Ultra, why on earth would I ever buy an iPad mini again? They're dangerously close to cannibalizing their own tablet sales, and the marketing team in Cupertino is going to have to walk a very fine, terrifying line. They have to convince us that the Ultra is the ultimate daily driver without completely destroying their entire tablet lineup. And then there is the massive elephant in the room, the retail price. Nobody expects this thing to be cheap. $2,000 to $2,500 is the current estimate floating around the rumor mill. That is a terrifying number for a mobile phone. But remember how carrier subsidies work across the globe. Most people are not dropping $2,000 up front in cold hard cash. They are rolling it into a monthly carrier plan where an extra 20 or 30 bucks a month suddenly doesn't feel quite so absolutely devastating to the bank account. I'm actually heading out to WWDC for the first time ever very soon, and I'm desperately hoping Tim Cook gives us some sort of sneak peek at the software foundation for this foldable. iOS is going to need a massive overhaul to handle a passport size canvas properly. Stage Manager is definitely not going to cut it on an 8-inch screen. So I really have to ask you again, is a passport-sized titanium iPhone Ultra enough to make you finally jump on the foldable hype train? Or is that astronomical price tag just completely out of touch with reality? I'm honestly torn right now. I really want it, but my wallet is already crying just thinking about it. Let's argue about it down in the comments section right now.